This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Jodi Harty joining us here, the owner of Elements of Wellness. She's a board-certified hormonal coach, board-certified drugless practitioner, and best-selling author. Jodi Harty, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well. And again, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Glad to be with you again.
Well, we're excited to talk more about the services you provide. Obviously, your holistic approach to things and specializing in your health. And someone out there listening today, she has you covered. Wait till you get to talk to her. Also, if you have any injuries, obviously grief, trauma, there's so much that she can help you with and get in tune with your body and fix things. And then on top of it all, get better, feel better. And that's part of the coaching process. So let me start off by just asking you a little bit about yourself since there's new time listeners here to the show.
Yeah, sorry, Jillian. You cut out there, so I'm just rephrasing. I think you asked me to talk about myself, new members, new listeners. So I've been in the alternative community since 1996. I was 16 years old at that time. I am now going to be turning 46 next year. So that is a long time to be in it. I've got numerous modalities behind me. I've seen the industry change. I've seen the fads. I've seen the tried and true methods. And I'm just at a point where it's just like, it's time to get loud. It's time to start debunking some of the myths, and it's time to like get back on track.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I'm 47, turning 48 in a few months. So I know as we get older, we feel like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? What wish I would have known now what I knew known then what I knew now, right? And it's still not too late. That's the part of, coaching and all your holistic wellness programs, especially for us ladies with hormonal issues that happen at this age. But so I'm excited to, hear what you have to say. Did you want to start off by talking about, your practice or tell us in particular? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I love educating. I get bored really easy, so I'm always looking for more education once I've kind of mastered my focus. And then I'm like, okay, now let's add on to something new. So with me, you're never going to get stagnant. Secondly, I bring everything to the table from my hands-on experience in clinical as a massage therapist to then the coaching and the lab testing with using dried urine hormonal testing, DNA testing for customized supplements made for you. No more taking the guess or taken the guesswork out of the equation. And then also is the sensitivity testing, which we measure IgG4 levels. And that just helps us laser into nutrition so that we can actually put the fires out in the body as much as we can. And then once we've got that accomplished, then we start integrating the life. Then we start making the life match what we want to do on a cellular basis and to match your goals that you have.
And you're working with, is it strictly women or do you work with men too?
I primarily work strictly with women for health and life coaching. But for just health coaching, if you want to laser in on the nutrition, then I will absolutely work with men as well.
Perfect. And I know you do so many different types of DNA testing and you incorporate all the tests and also the nutrition aspect and supplements into the work you do. What would you say, sets you apart from someone that would make you unique? Why, wow, I want to contact Jodi. And by the way, it's Jodi with an I. And I always say the way it should be because I have many friends that are Jodi. And then I met one with a Y and I said, no.
That's awesome. And you know what? I don't care how you spell it, just as long
Yeah.
as you don't call me some derogatory term. But
Yeah.
with DNA testing, the most important thing I want to say about that, and this is recently, I had a client, Deanna. She's been with me since I started,
Yeah.
even before I got into coaching. And
Hmm.
she's done everything that I've told her to. And right now she is working with a fitness coach. And she's like, Jodi, nothing's working. Nothing's working. I'm gaining weight. I'm doing the movement. I've calmed down the cardio because that stimulates cortisol in women as we get older. Like nothing's working. And I looked at her and I said, Deanna, what does your DNA report say? Because from what I remember,
Yep.
you should not be eating so much animal protein, should not be doing this
Yep.
type of movements. And she's like, well, I don't know, I forget. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go back and let's look at that. And here she's been following this fitness coach of hers. She's been doing the routine. She's been doing the dieting that the fitness coach has been providing, not getting results, still gaining weight, still having the hormonal symptoms. And everything is pointing that like it's wrong. It's wrong. And the DNA report specifically says
Hmm.
you cannot have keto or paleo. You cannot like high
Wow.
protein,
Yep.
yes, but not this type of protein. And when I put her through
Hmm.
the nutritional program that I have, that's exactly what we found out, even before we got the results. But the results confirmed that. So
Wow.
it is really a Bible
Hmm.
for you. Like you can kick rocks and you can protest and say, well, I like this part, but not that part. Doesn't mean it's not true. Doesn't mean that like this over here is going to work for you when your DNA is actually saying, no, this is how you got to do it.
Oh my goodness, so true. Well, that's so important because not everybody with a coach gets this aspect of it. Obviously, you're a board certified drugless practitioner, board certified hormonal coach as well. And what did you want to kind of dive into for us today, Jody? Where do we begin?
Let's start doing the DNA.
Okay.
That is the simplest thing that we can do, whether you work with me as a coach or not, because this is you. This is you from cell number one, so conception, until the time you're no more. Like it will never change. This is chronically you. So let's go there.
Yeah, let's do it. Wow.
Yeah, so with the DNA reports that Nucleogenics provides, and I'm a professional on the side, so I use them for diagnostics only,
Got it. Hmm.
and I custom make my programs based on those results. You get a healthy aging report. So this is what your customized supplement is going to be made for. They test 27 different genes that can be activated. Okay. So I explain it to my clients like this. If your genes are like a couch potato and only working part-time or casually, maybe they'll make a mess in the kitchen, get up and make some food, but then they'll go
Yeah.
back down to the couch. It's not working correctly. Or if you have a gene that's like a hibernating bear that likes to sleep year round and doesn't really like to work
I know
and
some
like
people like
maybe
that.
30% of the time, right?
Hmm.
Then you need gene activation because it doesn't matter what supplement you take. It
Yep.
doesn't matter what nourishment you take. If you're not genetically able to break it down, you've just got expensive urine and you're wasting your resources. So without that genetic activation, everything else is pointless. So we test 27 different genes that can be activated, okay? And I go over a 2-hour report with you for that, or result session with you to help you understand your results and then tell you exactly what we can do to start lasering in. When you have a supplement that includes DNA activation based on your results, now you can take the nutrition. Now you can add in other supplements that will benefit you because you're getting that DNA activation and they are working the way they are supposed to full time, not just casually part time or like unemployed. So that's one of the key things. The second report is your weight report. Now, these genes cannot be activated. However, this is where life coaching comes in because I can look at your dopamine and say, oh, this is why you have the addictive behaviors. So let's start creating a life that gets you those dopamine hits. Or I can see that you have the hunger gene, or there is a specific gene that actually can be medically treated. And this gene is primarily found in people that struggle with weight, that are obese or morbidly obese. it's an injection that you can get. And it's not an Ozempic, it's not any of the weight loss treatments out there. It actually stimulates this gene. And I'm over here thinking, like, why are we not testing for this with our patients that are struggling? Like, if we can help them medically, why are we
Yeah.
not doing this? So, with your weight report, I really look at what these genes are primed for, and then I create a program for that. There are two other reports that you get. You get a sport report that tells
Oh,
you what exercise will be good for you and which one will do you more harm. It will tell you if you're prone to more injury and what you can do to help avoid that, and which ones you should go hard at. So maybe getting that HIIT class is not the right thing for you.
wow.
Maybe doing the yoga class is not the right thing for you, right? I'm not a fitness I'm not a fitness coach. I don't have anything, so I don't really focus on that, but it is yours to take to your specialist and say, hey, let's go down the rabbit hole together, figure this out, and create a program that will work for me genetically. And then there's a skin report. Now, in a
Ooh,
very, very far life away that I had. Did practice aesthetics. I do have my diploma there. And I do believe that what we use on our skin really affects us on a cellular level. It is the largest organ that we have in the body. It starts absorbing what we put on it within 6 seconds of coming into contact. So when
really?
we think about hormonal
Uh-huh.
disruptors or endocrine disruptors, what are we putting on our skin? What are we cleaning with? What are we touching? What are we coming into regular contact with? There's not much we can do with the skin report, but it gives you a reason of why things are behaving the way that they do. And then that's where I can come in and say, okay, I would recommend X product for this or this product for that. And I really love IN product. It is a clean, organic, they use plant stem cells, and the results that I'm seeing with it since I've been introduced are second to none. So, and the fact that it's organic, green, like you can't go wrong with it. And it's very simple. So, those are the four reports that you get with your DNA testing
Okay.
when you purchase a kit from me.
Perfect. Now you're in Edmonton. She's in Canada. And do you work just in your country? Do you work in the US? Do you work worldwide? What are the restrictions and limitations?
Right now, I can currently, with the DNA testing, work in Canada and the US. So if you order the kit from me, then I ship it out to you. We have a call on how to register it to you. You do the DNA swab at home. There's prepaid shipping to the lab. We wait 5 weeks. We get the results. That's how easy it is. The company is working on becoming worldwide, and that should be coming in the new year. And then the doors will open for everyone because everybody should be on a DNA supplement. Consider it your custom made multivitamin versus going to the shelf and wondering what you should be taking, what you shouldn't. If you've got an MTHFR mutation or genetic SNP or an MTRR
Mhm.
genetic SNP, these are our major detox pathways in our genetics. If these are not working correctly, we can't just take some synthetic supplement off the counter shelves.
Mhm.
Actually, the synthetics will cause us more harm, and it will actually cross the blood-brain barrier easier and cause more inflammation in the body and the
Wow.
brain, causing more pain, more toxic buildup. So this is really important of why it's so important to know your genes, how to activate them, and then get good, clean, active ingredients that are not synthetic.
And a lot of people don't know where to get these from, and they buy the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult, let's be honest, when it comes to food, when it comes to supplements, when it comes to regular person like myself trying to read the labels, trying to read the ingredients.
Mhm.
It's not easy to figure out or understand what's really good for you because half the stuff you think is good for you is really not good for you.
Yeah.
So that's another benefit I think of working with someone like yourself. You could set us straight what what we really need and should be putting and ingesting into our body or putting on our skin, as you say.
Yeah. And I mean, I worked with a male client and he was doing everything that he was told. He did certain genetic testing, he did certain food sensitivity testing, all of that. And he was doing what he was told. but he hadn't done this one. And when I got the results back, I looked at him and I said, like, what you're currently taking is not working. It's giving
Mm-hmm.
you a false
Yep.
energy. It's giving you a false indicator that, like, hey, I'm feeling so much better. And you take that away, and he instantly started feeling like crap again. And he's like, it was just masking. And I'm like,
Yep.
this is the importance of that gene activation because you'd be able to go a whole lot longer without taking that supplement if your genes were
Yep.
working correctly. Right.
Interesting.
So
Right.
even the supplements that, the gurus recommend, they may not be the right ones for you. They could be clean, they could be organic, they could be gluten-free and dairy-free and all of the things, but they could not be right for you.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. I just want to remind everyone, Jodi Harty here. The name of the company is Elements of Wellness. And again, you can reach out to her, obviously. You can get the test kit sent to you. So in order to start working with you, is that usually the process for everyone to get the kit, to get the test? And then how long do the test results take and how do we go over them? And then how do you start the process?
Yeah, so first of all, you just email me and say, "Hey Jody, I heard about your DNA kits. Tell me more." And we actually have a face-to-face conversation on Zoom first. We figure out what your goals are, right? Because I want to be on your page. You're not on my page. I want to be on your page, okay? I want to know that you're not wasting your money and that this is actually the right route for you, okay? Once we figure out that, yes, you want to do this and it is the correct route for you, then you purchase the kit. I mail it to you. Takes about 2, 3 days to get. We register it online for you. They are HIPAA regulated, so your medical privacy will not be sold to anyone, and they are CLIA regulated, which means no government, no news, no life insurance, no beneficiary company can go to this company and say, hey, we need their genetics to see whether they're involved in this crime or if we can insure them. They're not allowed to give it out. So this can never be used against you in anything. So they are very tightly regulated. Your identity is very protected. They do not disclose it. We wait 5 weeks for those results. And then we get on a 2-hour consult to go over the results. Because as much as nucleogenics provides the basic templates of your DNA report, what I found in my practice when I first started using them was that people got overwhelmed and they're like, well, that's neat,
Hmm.
cool, beans, great. Why did I do that? So in this 2-hour consult of going over your results, I explain what every single genetic SNP that you have not working correctly means and what we can do to help correct it. Then I go over what's in your supplement that they would make for you and explain the differences of what's in there versus what you would find in the over the counter.
Okay. Thank you for that. And you've been doing this for how many years now? And just for those that may not know a little bit about your background, what brought you into this field before we continue?
Yeah, so what brought me into this field? Again, I started when I was young, 1996. My mom was one of the first in Canada to do live cell analysis. She was an alternative doctor herself. And I kind of was started as her assistant. She passed away when I was 25.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had my aesthetics. We were going to open business together and I was going to treat the outside of the body. She was in the inside. And that just went poof. So then I became a massage therapist and jumped into clinical. And I had a really great 15-year career. I loved working with my hands. I loved helping the body heal. I learned so much working with physios, doctors, chiropractors,
Yep.
naturopaths. And then I was in a collision that in an instant took my legs. They are my legs now,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't use them. I had to learn how to walk again. I was shattered from the hips down. My daughter had died instantly in that collision. My marriage was lost for a time as we
Oh,
were not doing well. There's no handbook that says this is how you treat one another in a case
yeah.
like this. So, as hard as we were trying, just was not working. I never went back to our family home. It was a 4-bedroom home. big backyard, all of that, but the stairs. I couldn't do the stairs, and it was far from all of my rehab. So I lived in the hospital for four and a
Oh,
half months. My two other children from a previous marriage instantly went to go live with their dads. So I was no longer a wife, a mother,
oh,
no longer an entrepreneur, no longer had my body. Like everything was just taken. And so I had to become my best client. I had to do exactly what I knew to do
yeah.
holistically and alternative, and also do what my doctors and specialists and surgeons told me to do. So they
Oh,
predicted 10 months in the hospital. Knowing what I knew, I was out in 4. That does not mean living independently. That
yes.
means I was living with my sister and her family for 3 months, and they made my meals. They cleaned up after me because I could literally only stand for 2 minutes at a time. Then, when I was able to live on my own, maybe it was a half hour at a time. And I would do therapies 5 days a week, learning how to walk again. I don't have a walker now. I do not have a cane now. That should have never happened. So I did
Oh,
become my best client. And
oh,
then after the 2-year recovery process, I'm still in recovery. I will always be in recovery. When you have a diagnosis or chronic injury, you are always in recovery. And there's a lot of grief with that. I am no longer the person I was before. My body is not the same. And every little milestone brings up things that, like, oh, I thought I dealt with this.
yeah. Of course.
Um, but are you going to be able to do the work, or are you going to like sit back on the couch and go, yeah, no, this is my life. Done. Right? So after 2 years, I decided, well, I can't just sit on the couch. I can't just do this. And I re-educated. I re-educated as a board certified health and life coach, and I graduated in 2020. So I was introduced to the DNA supplements and testing in that year, actually at a trade show. And I was like, well, I've been in the alternative field
Yeah.
forever. Okay, right? And I didn't really understand it. But for me, and I can speak for me personally, because every supplement that is made is different from person
Yeah.
to person. Okay. For me, the amount that it controlled pain. Chronic, I am titanium from the hips down. On my website is my introduction video, and it shows you my x-rays. It shows you how bad the collision was. It shows my story of recovery. And chronic pain is a daily thing. To say that I am pain-free would be a lie.
Yeah.
However, because of my genetics, I feel more body pain than the average if they were working correctly. So when I started taking this supplement, I was able to get off the opioids. I was able to get off the nerve blockers, the major muscle relaxers, and eventually I was able to get off the antidepressants and the anti-anxieties because learning how to drive again is scary.
Could imagine.
So when I go off of it, it's within 2 or 3 days that the pain comes back. So I know that it's working for me. And when a client comes to me that says they have chronic pain, this is one of the
Yeah.
first things I want to do because maybe it won't help. Maybe it won't help with your pain because your genes are working correctly, but maybe it will. And I won't know that until we test. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then I started going down the rabbit hole of like, why is this helping me with pain? Why is this like, holy cow, right?
Yeah.
That's how I got into the genetic testing.
Amazing. Well, I mean, just your story is so inspirational. I think it's important to share, with so many people because, wow, you're an inspiration, and to know that you have been, in such a place, and now you're helping people. You know, you can get the best out of your life still. You can change. You could feel better. You deserve to. So. Thank you for sharing that. And again, Jodi, we still have 5 more minutes left. What else do you want to make sure we cover for today about, why we should be working with you, and of course the benefits of all this?
Wow. So that's a hard question. 5 minutes is a long time. That's a hard question because every client is different. Every
Yeah.
client is different. I have a grieving mom right now. She lost her 25-year-old son to suicide, and grief is different from person to person. right? Grief is, I know the difference between losing a mom and a dad and grandparents versus losing my daughter. And not one is the same. It's
Yeah.
different. And even though I've lost a child, I don't know what it's like for you if you're grieving
Yeah.
on what that feels like. And for this mom, the very first thing that I want to do with her is let her talk. Let her talk it out, because the more that the brain can share, the more that it heals, and the more we start coming up with a story that makes sense for us, that the brain can start moving through. Um, and that's just one of the gifts that I give my clients, because so many people
Yeah.
don't know, especially when you have a tragedy like that. Nobody knows what to say.
So true. Yeah.
Nobody knows what to say. Nobody knows how to relate to you. And I know for myself, it was really hard integrating back into society after being in this bubble of the rehab hospital,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then being and seeing in society of intact families. Or I remember when I was young and I was 25 and I lost my mom, and I would see mother and daughters out in public, and I was so jealous.
Jealous.
Right.
I
And it's
get it.
not that I didn't want them to have a mom. I absolutely loved that they had their mom around, but I was so jealous in what I was missing out on. And so when dealing with grief, that is the first thing that I allow you to do, is just share. Just talk to me, just share. And then we start putting the fires off it out in the body. And we do that with nutrition, because when we're on fire inside, there is no way that our brain has the tools or the ability
Yeah.
or the capacity to start helping us with the outside world,
Yeah.
such as grief, such as daily living, breathing, and like, what do I make for dinner today? Right? So we share, we talk, I listen, and then we start getting into the cellular recovery. Because if your brain has what it needs to
Mm-hmm.
recover and to like help itself, it will. It will. And then all of a sudden, after 4 weeks only, things seem easier. Things seem lighter. Things are like, oh, I can problem solve that. Oh, you're having a hard day? I know what I can do for this hard day, right? Versus being in the abyss and not knowing when it's going to end.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, your journey, and for being here for so many other women out there. Again, if you are on the market for the holistic approach to your health, you found the place, and it's going to start with your DNA. So you're going to reach out to our friend Jodi Harty and find out how you can get your testing done, and then from there, transform your life. Really, it's possible, and it's a pleasure having you here again for sharing everything. Tell us the website, how we can contact you.
Yeah, so you can reach me at www.elementsofwellness.org, and you can just contact me. You can just email me. There's a link right at the top left-hand side of the page, and we'll have a conversation. You start with an email, or if you are ready to dive in, I have laser coaching calls. You can just book online. It is one of the first services that is offered, and it's 20 minutes, just you and me, face to face, online. You don't have to go through like messaging back and forth. You get direct access to me.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, and looking forward to the next time we speak. You have a great day, okay, Jodi?
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. Bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.